Hello everybody, this is your old friend RJ City, and today I'll be watching and reacting to all the intros to Home Improvement. It was on the air for a long time. It was incredibly successful. At one time, Tim Allen had the #1 show, the #1 book, and the #1 movie all at the same time. We've changed so much since then. How long was it on the air? I don't really know. It's not necessary because we know it's a decent chunk of time, and then the show was always really the same. Traditional family squabbles. He'd do some physical Super Dave-ish stunt with the tools, and then years later, Mark gets into goth, and I think Al gets a wife, Trudy. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me now. Let us refresh our memories together by watching all the intros to Home Improvement. Oh, listen to this. This is before it gets into that regular sting. It's the setup here so long. We're establishing the house. That's really, really important. And that Tim is off balance. You get the tool symbolism here? See, Home Improvement means, listen to these isolated musical tracks. They're really squeezing so much out of this song before it really kicks into full gear. He's working on his family, the home, but then also the house. You understand, right? He likes to do things around the head. There's a double Tim. I love how it's all that paper filter. Taron Noah Smith is like 3 years old here. Jonathan Taylor Thomas looks like he knows he's already going to grow too big for the show at some point. And Zachary Ty Bryan somehow looks younger than Jonathan Taylor Thomas, despite being the older one. There's Mark right. There's all the kids running around. 3 blonde kids. Is that genetically impossible from Tim and Patricia here? Is it? I'm not quite. There's that classic Home Improvement logo, which is also available on the Super Nintendo video game, which you can watch me play in frustration on my channel. Okay, here's the next one. We've rejigged the theme song a little. We're speeding it up a little more. It's a lot clearer now, but we're still using this off-balance thing. It's such a good metaphor. He's seeking balance in his life. And he's going to break down perhaps the emotional walls between he and his wife, romantically, sexually, what have you. And she's screwed, I think is the pun there. And he's looking at, he's full of wood. He's full of hard, cheap wood, and it's crumbling down around him. And the kid's like Lego. He wants to be like his dad. But maybe JTT doesn't. He just wants to swing. And Zachary Ty Bryan wants his dad at an electronic distance. I think that makes the most sense. This feels like the exact same, whatever. Maybe it's just a little shorter? Ooh, no, never mind. We got a hot saxophone coming in. That's what the difference was. Excuse me. I don't remember hearing that. I love how Tim Allen, it's based out of stand-up, but he didn't actually create it. It's great. We don't get the flute coming in yet. Is the flute coming? Nope, not yet. It's so weird. Maybe it's a later season thing. They took a chance on that flute. Once they started riding high, Tim was like, now it's the flute time. Here we understand the metaphor now, right? Okay, good. The different shades of Patricia, the different moods she gets into. She was a wonderful actress. She deserves a dramedy now. She should star in something serious. Whoa, that hot sax. They're all looking up. Oh, this one's slightly shorter. They knew the grunting was going to be the signature. There's the flute. Oh, this is the song I know. They were just sitting back before the start of the next season. They're like, this intro is missing something. And someone's niece plays the flute. And they're like, let's do it. And an electric, they're balancing it out. I feel like this is the fight between Tim and Patricia. I can't remember her name on the show anymore. And here's Wilson. He's now established himself. He's done the work. Earl Hindman has really, really put in the work here to be featured. He certainly deserves it. And we've done the same establishing shots for the boys, but we've tightened them up. And of course, Al Borland, Richard Karn, I hope he asked for a bigger piece of the pie. I hope his managers demanded good shit in his contract, and I hope he got it. Because that's really what the show is. He was like the work wife, you know? I still can't remember her name. Patricia Richardson. I'm just trying to look at them. Because Tim is Tim. Wow, a little closing dialogue? Very interesting. Here's the short version of season 2 of 3, which is a lot more quiet for some reason. You know, good for Earl Hindman, good for Richard Karn. What was her name? Oh my God, I'm just gonna botch it all. This is if people are probably screaming at me. Well, she's certainly Patricia Richardson to me. And this, I don't think anyone else ends up in the titles. Maybe Pamela Anderson or Debbie Dunning, who played Heidi. But you don't see Tim's brother, who's a great, was one of my favorites. All right, season 3 here, we're moving on. This is so exhaustingly long, quite frankly. But it's getting a little more peppier. We're firmly into flute territory here. And this guitar is great. Really, hats off to the people who made this song. This isn't a cheap sitcom song. This is tight, layered. There's a tremendous amount going on here. I love how Taryn, JTT, and Zach have not aged at all, according to this intro, in at least 3 years. 3 years is being generous. Probably more like 5 at this point. I love how Al is a little taller there. Alright. Okay. Ooh, that's not a new shot. No, I thought it was a new shot. I just feel like we could have done a lot more to jazz this up. High hiked pants on Tim. I don't remember that outro. Maybe in syndication. Are we still here? The season 3 short version? Is this that much shorter? And why we should need this short version? What is different between any of these? We've been watching these for 6.5 minutes now, and I've known scant differences. Mainly that flute, and they got rid of the saxophone. And maybe that's a demographic thing. Maybe they did a focus group, you know, and said the people are not, you know, with the 90s and the whole Clinton thing. Maybe the saxophone had a bad reputation from his appearance on Arsenio. That's how tired I am. I used to say Arsenio. Get ahead. Carmen Finestra. You don't hear from these people anymore. Oh, wow. Oh, I see. As the blueprint passes, they're trapped in the blueprint. This is kind of a hell thing they're establishing here. Ugh. This is a little shorter, I think. This is a little different? No. Oh, my God. They got a tremendous amount of mileage, and credit to both Patricia and Tim for looking basically exactly the same all the time. And you know, Wilson would age, but you would never know it. You just had to put on eye cream, and he was doing fine. I see. They're trapped. That's clear to me now. And they're trapped in the blueprint of what they wanted their lives to be. They're stuck. I think that's every tool here is a metaphor. And Earl, and I feel like that's the fence of male bonding. They have to put each other at a distance and sort of hide who they truly are. Okay, that one was a lot shorter. Oh, this one's totally different. Look at how much brighter. Tim is grown, Attack of the 50-foot Tim Allen, and yet he's fallen. And yet the structure of his life is what's holding him up. As Jill cleans, her name is Jill, it finally just came to me. And she carries him around. I don't remember a scene where Wilson made them play video games. Speaking of video games, this video game looks somehow better than the SNES video game. It looks a lot like the Mask NES video game, I gotta be honest with you. The kids have certainly grown up. The View-matic, very View-o-matic. Richard Karn looks very much the man informing, trimmed down a little. He was taking his role a little more seriously. And now they've, you know, done the logo a bunch of different times now. They've done away with that one on the helicopter. They're like, no, we have the money to do a new one completely. And Tim Allen actually is from Michigan. Although they move at the end, that's how the show ends. They have to move to Chicago or something. He got a syndication deal or something. I do remember going, gee, this would be a great video game. You run through the house, you beat all these characters, and then you play the SNES video game, and it's just Tim and dinosaurs. That's a beautiful, I would love that in my house. There's a beautiful sky, a nice gradient, and he's wearing no belt with those jeans. Tucked in tightly, and no belt. I think Jill, I don't know what she did, and maybe she went back to school at some point. I'm earning my degree, and that just was a plot device to, I guess, keep her in the house and with a lot of papers, like always busy. Jonathan Taylor Thomas at this point is absolutely over this. The fact that he's listed first before both of his brothers is really before not only, you know, the one who used to be listed first, Mark, but also his older brother in general. That's a nice logo. I don't remember it though. Okay, here we go. This is the season 6 version. We are moving through this. Yeah, we got this just here. Let's look for more metaphors. She's cleaning Tim's dirty laundry, you know what I'm saying? His filth, his dark secrets. She's absolving him. And the neighbor is keeping a watchful eye on it all. He's watching the house. And he is also leaning on wood. Because without that structure, he also would not exist, I think. And kids like video games. I think that's the message there, ultimately. And see how Al is adjusting Tim and how he comes off on television. So in many ways, Jill is holding him up at home. Al is holding him up at work. I don't know why this version is so quiet, but whatever. And I think we've been through this. This is just a shorter version of everything. Wow, they cut out one kid completely. This is definitely a syndication cut. I don't remember it being this guitar heavy. I do remember this shot of Tim here. Because late 90s, early 2000s, we're getting into electronics, you know. Patricia's to glow up on her, huh? Good for you. And she's cultivating the man he is supposed to be. She's nurturing him, I think. And Al is cutting through it. There's Debbie Downey. So Pamela got kicked out in the earlier times. Is it just Zach left? Zach and Taryn? Is JTT? He's still there, but he's on his way out. He's doing the Home for Christmas movie, that whole thing. He's completely over there. Despite being the smallest one, he's in many ways the largest. I don't remember that little acoustic guitar going on there. It's an interesting choice. But Tim really got into gadgets. You know, and he's a sunflower. What does that mean? His seeds will be chewed up and spit out, perhaps. And Brad likes soccer, I think. And JCT got the and, which is very important. Great set of shirts. Here we go. Things are moving here so much fast. It's just the they just put it on double speed. Debbie Downey certainly earning her keep, though I don't remember her having gigantic plot devices, you know? I don't remember those standalone Heidi episodes. Here we go. This one might be totally different, too. Oh, we're just messing with everything. That's how you know we're getting to the end. We're messing around with things that have come before. What is he? Is he in a seed? What is that whole shooting to the moon thing? He's in a pot? Perhaps a drug reference to his shady past? And Earl is just, he's hidden. Maybe Earl is all of us, and what we choose to see in ourselves, and how perhaps we lie to ourselves. And Taryn Smith likes dominoes? They're like, I don't know. Mark likes dominoes. Interesting choice. Oh my god. Early season 8, number 2. What's even different about this? It's just like a slightly different cut. He was in a can, and she's cultivated him. Is that maybe an attack against commercialization and the mass production of America? That's very possible. Let's look at Mark. Yep, likes dominoes. And what about, I can't see anything behind him. A water gun, perhaps? let's keep going here. Blueprint. This all seems to be the same. There's the original. We flash back to the original for a second there. That house. That house is... Boy, if those walls could talk, huh? And it's him still being a can and a sunflower, and she fills them up. We got it. Okay. It's a nice wipe. The fish comes by. Very clever. Debbie's keeping consistent. That's the difference? It's just that middle Home Improvement logo montage? Oh, Mark came first. And then Brad, JTT is out. And Al has now filled that role. I got it. He's like, I'll take the extra money. Season 8, number 2. I think we're really, really nearing the end here. There's maybe another season or 2 after this. I think this is it for all intents and purposes. Okay. Yeah, we got it. The fish. She's done the same. Debbie does not age. I saw her Instagram. Does not age. Richard Karn filling the void. He's a man who stepped up, as far as I'm concerned. Because that show was lacking, and Al said, this is probably when Al married Trudy. They had all those JTT plot points, and they were like, he's gone. We need to do something else. He's doing WrestleMania 12 or something. Is that it? No, there's one after this. And they still show him, I guess, because out of respect. All right, this is definitely the last one, I think. There's the house montage again. There's Tim. This is horrible quality. This looks like 8-bit. This looks like I put in a CD-ROM. He goes up. He comes down. He's like, what's that? And then she will water him. He will bloom into a sunflower. Cue Wilson. The montage. The bush. The fish. Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. Exactly the same. We can move on from that. Nice little montage again. Brad likes soccer. Mark likes dominoes. There's no goth Mark, and this is JTT is back, and we've cut Al out, quite frankly. To hell with him. Wow. I didn't realize that these intros would insinuate that Richard Karn got pushed around and bullied, quite frankly, by Jonathan Taylor Thomas. The important thing is that Debbie Dunning did not change once. Neither did Wilson. And I'm just upset that ultimately there isn't more Earl Hindman in all of our lives.